Hello Capricorn, welcome to Monarch Intuition, and today I'm going to be doing your personality assessment through the tarot cards. So we're going to be starting out with the Two of Pentacles, which is your lower base egotistical self, leading up to your highest self, which is the Queen of Pentacles. So what we have to understand about the suit of Pentacles is that they are actually very holy cards, okay? The Pentacles are represented by pentagrams. And all the pentagrams are holy symbols because they represent the number 5. In fact, 5 in the tarot deck is the Pope, or the Hierophant card, representing the peak of, Catholicism, or the peak of someone who sits at the top of the Vatican, right? So 5 is something that's very important because it intersects, these 5 triangles intersect on something called the pentagon, which is considered a golden ratio, which represents infinity. Now, your first card is represented by infinity by having the figure 8 on the sides. Now, this same figure 8 is over the Angel's Head and the Strength card. So what you need to understand is that you sit on a very negative polarity, Capricorn, because when we look at the graph goes up, down, left, and right eternally, right? And all the negatives, which are the feminine, sit on the negative polarity, and all the positives, which are masculine, sit on the positive polarity. Think of like, even if you're a male, you can sit on the negative polarity. So like in the Egyptian god times, you had Heka, who ruled over the occult and black magic. He was someone who's considered a negative entity. And then you had Ra, who sat on the positive polarity, right? And then you had the goddesses who sat in the middle. It's kind of the same concept when we look at Norse mythology, is that Loki sat on the negative polarity, and then, there was Thor, who sat on the positive. When we look at, say, Greek and Roman time periods, you had Hecate. Hecate was the moon goddess. She sat on the negative spectrum, and then you had Zeus, whatever, sat on the positive polarity, right? So you're always about bringing this balance into your life, and you need to find the positive polarity because it's very, very easy for Capricorns to become very wicked people within their lives, okay? That's something that's very important to understand, is like kind of like the musical Wicked, right? If you don't have a positive influence within your life to try to make you a better person, you will ultimately end up falling into like this devil trap. When we look at this devil trap right here, the devil has the pentagram inverted on his forehead, representing that he is the negative entity sitting on this. He's the ruler of the negative entity, and God is like the ruler sitting on the positive entity, right? So he has Adam and Eve chained to this podium, representing that he tricked them into taking a bite of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now, this devil can also be seen as Baphomet. However, Baphomet is really a pagan symbol. It can be represented by the god of Pan, and can also be represented as, say, Baal, even though Baal is more like a bull god. However, when we look at the devil energy, the devil had many iterations before it became the devil in Christianity. The devil can be seen as someone who is like Pan, the Greek god of drunkenness and, sexual openness. Can also be represented by Beelzebub, or Baal-el-Zebub, or Baal, or Baal, however you want to pronounce it, which was like the Phoenician god of fertility. And this is kind of represented on the Queen of Pentacles energy. She is the goddess of fertility. So let's look at this base self right here. It's very easy for Capricorns to not ever find a positive aspect or to try to reach the light, okay? Because you're represented by the sea goat, and if you look at the Two of Pentacles very closely, there is a sea beneath him, representing that he doesn't have a solid foundation to stand on, representing that this balance is always going to be very hard for him to find this positive and this negative balance within his life, because there's always going to be this shifting of the tides. Now, what you can understand with this devil energy is that there are ways to help people with this, ways to move people away from this energy to help them have more fulfilled lives. And that's something that you're going to struggle with throughout your life, Capricorn, is moving away from the devil. Because when we look at the Three of Pentacles, this represents someone who is very skilled within their work, someone who's better than everyone else, okay? And a lot of Capricorns can dedicate their time and attention and focus into their own craft and become more dedicated and more valuable individuals at the workplace than other people. The problem is when you get into this Four of Pentacles, which represents greed. Greed is a very negative polarity thing, such as wanting to hold on to everything. As you can see, he's standing on the Two Pentacles, and he's holding the Two Pentacles very closely to his chest, or one pentacle to his chest. And he has one pentacle sitting above his head, representing that greed is now ruling him. He does not want to give up any of his pentacles to help other people. In fact, he wants to hold on to everything and say, well, if they can't do it, then it's whatever. It's not my problem. That's where that wickedness of Capricorn energy comes into play. That's something that you have to understand right there, is that you have to help other people with this Queen of Pentacles energy. She is someone who is very fertile and abundant, all right? She kind of represents, some people say it's the Empress, because it does have like an Egyptian ankh on it. However, it's more so associated to the Queen of Pentacles energy, because once again, anything that was seen as a negative or feminine goddess was kind of demonized within the Christian belief system. So the devil is actually a representation of the female goddess of fertility. I forgot her name in the Egyptian mythos. But this is someone who knows how skilled they are, okay? Someone who knows that they can build a very beautiful and well thought out life. They're very meticulous, they're very abundant within whatever they do. However, Capricorn, sometimes in order to gain that positive polarity, you have to be a giving person, all right? And that's the thing about the positive aspect, is that they are very giving people, as opposed to the negative aspects, which is all about, maintaining stuff. So when we look at the Queen of Pentacles, she is offering a pentacle to other people, something that she has created, but she chooses who she wants to give it to. And this is something that can help you within your life, Capricorn, is you don't have to give away your wealth to other people, all right? But you can choose who you want to, leave your legacy to. You can train people in the way that you want them to be. But you can never have control over their minds. That's something very important about Capricorn. Capricorn is all about wanting to control a situation and wanting to control other people, as the devil is controlling Adam and Eve right here. You can never control them, Capricorn. That's something that you're going to have to fight throughout your lives. Now, the good thing about this devil energy is that it does represent contracts, the binding of situations. Capricorns can be very meticulous when it comes to reading. They can be very cunning and crafty individuals, right? They can see double meanings within certain lines of text, and that's something that you need to focus on within your life. The Queen of Pentacles can also be represented by someone who is, I wouldn't say an author, but a scholar. That's the word I'm looking for. Someone who knows something, the insides and out. It's kind of like a Libran energy. You know how Libras are kind of represented by a judge or an attorney? That's kind of what the Queen of Pentacles is represented as well. Someone who can read into contracts and find the double meanings to release people from contracts. So think about like if someone made a deal with the devil. You would be able to understand where the flaw was within that contract to release that person from the bondage of Satan right here. And that's something that you need to understand about your powers, Capricorn, is that it's all about releasing people from chains, all right? You need to help people find their own freedoms within life. You need to free yourself from this devil energy of greed and wanting to hold on to things and wanting to control everything, to help people move forward within their own struggles, okay? So your cards are very interesting. It's all about this devil energy. I would definitely go and look up more meanings to this. It can also be about helping people find the light, because that's something that Baphomet is also represented as someone who is trying to find the light and trying to show other people illumination. If you notice, the actual symbol of Baphomet nowadays has like a young boy and a young girl looking at this goat energy who's doing the as above, so below. I find that imagery very taboo. I prefer the more adult versions of Adam and Eve with this symbolism right here. However, though, it is very scary. So it's all about helping people find the light, helping find that positive polarity within your life, and releasing people, okay? Trying to make friends and influence people, but also not trying to control and dominate them. So anyway, Capricorn, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll talk to you later.